She looked at me that morning with disappointment dressed as a smile. "Forgot again, didn't you?" she said, her tone light but her eyes distant. I wanted to tell her that I hadn't forgotten. That for 3 months I'd been planning something beautiful. Something meant to remind her of who we once were. But I didn't. I just smiled, kissed her cheek and said, "You'll see." She sighed, grabbed her coffee, and left for work without another word. That was the moment I knew. It wasn't just forgetfulness she saw in me. It was distance. A distance she'd started to fill with someone else. I wasn't supposed to know, of course. But phones have a way of telling the truth, especially when they light up at midnight with a message that reads, "Can't wait to see you again. Last night was perfect." Her name wasn't on the message. His wasn't either. But I knew. I'd seen the way she typed, that lowercase I, the extra space before question marks. Tiny fingerprints of infidelity. I didn't confront her then. I couldn't. Not because I was weak, but because I wanted to see how deep it went. For weeks I watched her become someone else. Late nights at the gym. Makeup she hadn't worn in years. A new perfume she said was a gift from a friend. And yet I played along. Every smile, every joke, every breakfast we shared. I memorized it all because I knew the ending was coming. But I didn't want to end it with yelling or shattered plates. I wanted her to see what she'd broken. Not just hear it. Our anniversary was on a Friday. I told her I'd be working late. She didn't argue, almost seemed relieved. That was my confirmation. At 7:30 p.m. she texted me, "Don't worry about tonight. We'll celebrate later," smiley face. No mention of "I miss you," no "love you," just that hollow smile at the end. She didn't know I was parked 2 blocks away from the restaurant she'd always wanted to try. At 8:05 I saw her walk in, blue dress, hair curled, laughter too bright to be innocent. She wasn't alone. The man with her was someone from her office. I'd seen him in photos before. They sat close, his hand brushing hers. She didn't pull away. I watched long enough to feel the ache turn to something calmer, acceptance maybe. Then I drove off. I still had one more thing to do. That night, when she came home past midnight, I was in bed pretending to sleep. She tiptoed in, smelling of wine and something unfamiliar. She whispered, "Hey," testing if I was awake. I stayed silent. She showered quickly, crawled into bed and turned away from me. I stared at the ceiling until morning. The next day I made her breakfast. Pancakes, her favorite, blueberry with vanilla syrup. "You're being sweet," she said cautiously. "What's the occasion?" "Our anniversary," I said, smiling. Oh, her face fell. "I thought you." "I didn't forget." I watched guilt flicker across her face, then vanish. She forced a smile, hugged me, said something about being lucky to have me. I let her believe it for now. That evening I asked her to dress nicely. "I've got a surprise," I said. She hesitated, probably worried her plans with him would be ruined, but agreed. At 7 p.m. I drove her out of town. She kept asking where we were going and I kept saying, "You'll see." Finally, we reached a small lakeside cabin. The same one where we spent our honeymoon years ago. I'd rented it out for the weekend. Candles, lights, dinner set for 2, everything perfect. Her eyes softened when she saw it. You did all this?" I nodded. "Been planning it for months." She looked around, visibly moved. "It's beautiful, Daniel. I don't deserve this." "No," I said quietly. "You don't." Her smile froze. "What's that supposed to mean?" I walked over to the table and pulled out my phone. "Sit." She hesitated, then sat down. I pressed play. The screen lit up, a video. Her laughing in that same blue dress, clinking glasses with him, fingers intertwined. I'd recorded it from across the street the night before. Her face drained of color. You followed me?" "I followed my wife," I said. "Big difference." She started crying. "Daniel, it's not what it looks like." I laughed. "That's the oldest line in the book, isn't it?" She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. "You thought I forgot our anniversary. But I didn't. I just realized you already started celebrating it with someone else." The silence that followed was thick and brutal. The only sound was the lake outside, calm and indifferent. "I'm sorry," she whispered finally. "It was a mistake. I didn't mean to." "You don't accidentally end up in someone else's bed," I said, my voice breaking despite myself. She stood up, trembling. Please don't do this. We can fix it. I'll end it. No, I said. You ended it already. I walked to the door, opened it and pointed outside. You can stay here tonight. I'll drive back. You always wanted space. Now you have it. Her tears fell fast, desperate, but I didn't look back. I just left the key on the table and walked out. That was 6 months ago. She's tried calling, texting, even showing up at my old office. I changed my number, moved to a new city. Sometimes I still think about her, about the version of her I married, not the one who lied. I wonder if she ever thinks about that night at the lake, about the candles flickering as her world burned down quietly. I don't hate her anymore. Hate takes energy, and I've finally learned to save mine. What I feel now is something simpler, peace. She thought I forgot our anniversary. But the truth is, I remembered everything. Every promise. Every smile. Every moment she chose someone else over me. And when I finally let go, that was the first time in years I truly celebrated us.